Good morning and welcome to our weekend transmission. And good morning, Anambra. Why you don't ask me why I'm laughing? Friday is always an exciting day for me. Yeah, Friday is indeed. So, how are you? How was your night? And how are you getting ready for the weekend? If there's any weekend at all, because that's problem here and there. Nobody knows what to do again. But nothing spoil. Now we day here. You understand? I want to ga also. So relax. I want to feneme. Okay, Yota. Dalo, welcome. We'll take a break here. When we come back, I'll introduce my guests and then we'll run on press review. Okay, joining me this morning is Ejike Abata. Ejike Abata is a veteran journalist and a public affairs analyst. He's also my brother. Good morning, Ejike.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
Okay, welcome. Yes, this morning, like I said, we're going to look at the front pages of the Nigerian newspapers and then see what is trending, see how far we're going to talk about them, and then move on because it does appear nobody's listening to anybody these days. Okay. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 papers to look at, but then we are starting with the Daily Times. On the front page of the Daily Times newspaper this morning, we have a banner headline that says, "We are not running away from responsibility, PDP." By way of Namoranyaga Balosamen. As Damagon calls for redeployment of Edo CP, accuses Rake of partisanship. Are they supposed to be partisan? Everything is just the other way around here. Okay, other stories coming from this paper. Weights and measures. Federal government moves to further curb short-changing of customers. MBS reports, Tinubu assures robust economy. Court bars federal government. And then Scarce Limited orders from disputed mining sites in Oyo. It's another story coming from Daily Times. And by my right-hand side, ending open defecation in Nigeria, our priority. This is coming from UNICEF. Do we still have any other story here? Yes. NLC, NBA condemn criminalization of civil protest in Nigeria. Partners to promote rule of law is citizens' rights. Okay. Night trips unsafe. Utterly dangerous, says FRSC Corps Marshal. Well, this is a good one because it does appear people are adamant on this night trips something with all the kind of dangers on the road. Let's look at Punch newspaper, please. On top of the name template, I have MPC Dangote I crude sales product buyback deal. Okay, NNPC Dangote I crude sell product buyback deal. Okay, let's see the rider there. NNPC team to monitor production at refinery. Tinubu governors Obasanjo mourn as Owa Ubokun joins his ancestors. OPS writes AGF over $2.4 billion forest contract breach. U.S. consulting with Nigeria to counter terrorism. General. But the banner headline here says, Edo Goverpool opposition fears violence as PDP shuns peace accord. With the rider there, INEC distributes final batch of PVCs today as poll host next Saturday. Abdulsalami panel sues for peace. Okay. Any other story of interest? I don't think so. Okay, let's move over to the next paper, which is the Vanguard newspaper. On the front page of Vanguard newspaper, very busy. Okay, let's see if we can take 1 or 2 stories there. 400 deported Nigerians. 400 deported Nigerians arrive Abuja from UAE to join the number of those of us that are here that are hungry, that can't access food to move around. Okay, petrol price, NNPCL, Dangote in gritty horse trading. Price negotiations meeting continues today. We will be guided by PIA in accepting any price. And then this is coming from NNPC. Any other story? Okay, can't find this one. Okay, scarcity, hawkers sell cheaper than fuel stations. Can you imagine? This is coming from investigation. The fuel scarcity, hawkers sell cheaper than fuel stations. So where do they assess their own? How can they sell cheaper? What have they poured inside? Hope they've not poured water inside it and be selling it as fuel. Okay. Right. This day newspaper is an newspaper. Tinubu upbeat on economy as Nigeria records 6.95 trillion naira trade surplus in Q2. Where is the effect in our everyday life? It's our question here. NNPC demands deployment of East Crude monitoring team to Dangote refinery. We've seen that story. Okay. Okay, let's look at the riders coming from here to see if we can make sense of that. Aliko Dangote agrees to sell fuel in local currency as negotiation progresses. And then 44% of 650,000 per barrel can satisfy Nigerians' total fuel demand, says DILVP. Discloses 98% of petroleum products importers in Nigeria not patronizing refinery. Really? Okay. Okay, let's hold it there and get back to my analyst, Ejike. Ejike, what exactly is going on between Dangote and the NNPC, please?
Well, Dangote had earlier said that if he knew what he knows today, he wouldn't have built a refinery. So that is the long and short of whatever that is happening today.
And that is a frustrated speech.
That obviously, Nigeria finally happened to Dangote. You know, when people, he has been benefiting from the government in power, but there comes a time when that government in power will not be in your favor. It won't dance to your own tunes. And that is what is happening to Dangote. At least he will be able to feel what other industrialists have been feeling in the past. Because
especially those of them that he outwitted in
his competitors,
yes.
His competitors. He will be able to feel what they have felt in the past. Because in street balance, it is said that will no go, no. And that is what is actually happening to Dangote. But beyond that, it also tells of the fact that, for one thing that I'm sure of is, as far as this administration is concerned, I don't know about which other administration is coming. As far as this, in the next 8 years, we will not have a government refinery working in Nigeria. That I am certain and I am sure of, because the level of frustration Dangote refinery is getting tells you that there are people, obviously there are cabals, but there are people who are bent on saying that Nigeria does not have a functioning refinery. And also, Dangote even said it some days back, that marketers reported him to Tinubu that his products are too cheap. Marketers reported Dangote to Tinubu that his products are too cheap.
So he's trying to
you can imagine,
them out of business.
You can imagine that.
So this is
we all looked forward to seeing Dangote's refinery work, because it will obviously reduce the cost of buying fuel.
And then monopoly.
Monopoly as well. But today, Dangote is not even allowed to sell his product in the open market. NNPCL are the only or the sole buyers. they buy from Dangote and then sell to other marketers. I don't understand.
Regretting the price.
Some persons are saying Dangote is a capitalist, so he can do whatever he likes to do. But I don't think that was his initial intention. It wasn't his initial intention. The intention, I believe, was that he would sell these products to as many as they are who are willing to buy, and then they fix their prices. That is where competition comes in.
There's even arrangement for him to have Dangote filling stations like you have that of the NNPC.
But I'm not sure that will happen again.
So
because that NNPC,
competition.
The NNPC now has its sole buyers from Dangote. So they buy from Dangote and sell at whatever amount that they wish. So as far as Nigeria is concerned, we are not, there's no hope of seeing the price of fuel reduced. No, that will not happen. Not now, not in the next 8 years. With what we are seeing on ground,
okay, I was actually going to ask you, is there any kind of hope at the end of the tunnel that we are going to have a change of a rejig of the whole system, and then let the common man breathe? Okay, are we going to continue like this, suffocation upon suffocation?
You know, when Buhari came into in power, I was an infant when he was a military president, head of state. But thank God for history. I read so much about him. I heard some of the statements he made back then. When he was coming, for me, I knew there was nothing good coming
back.
Yes, there was nothing good that would come from this man. And true to my words, it happened. You know, people, some very elderly people then will say, Buhari is a good man. He will work. He will do. 3 years into his tenure, they said, oh, it's people around him that are frustrating him. Buhari is a good man. And I said, we had people around Jonathan when he was in government. So stop making excuses for this man. You know, if you want to vote a candidate or you want to do business with somebody, you look at the person's antecedents. How has this person fared? What are his track records? These are what I saw when I said, no, there's nothing good that will come out from Buhari. And true to my words, nothing good. The same thing is applicable to the president today. You sit back and look at people's antecedents. So going back to your question, if there is any hope, as far as I am concerned, there is no hope. Because you don't tell people to fast and then you go to feast. No, it doesn't happen. You don't tell people to fast, you don't tell people to tighten their belts, and then you feast. How do we explain the fact that you repaired, we are not talking about building, you renovated a residence with 21 billion naira in today's economy? 21 billion naira. How much did Patricia Ete, former speaker, use in furnishing her apartment before she was drove out of office? And today we are talking about 21 billion naira for renovation. We are not talking. So if let's assume you want to build a new apartment for how much will it cost? And I asked, was Osinbajo's family that careless that they mismanage everything in the house for you to spend 21 billion naira? So as far as hope, we are talking about hope. There is no hope. There is no hope. It's not about reeling figures. Bayo Nanuga was telling us how and the naira has gained over the dollar and all what. Has it changed the price of garri in the market?
No way.
Has it changed the cost of transportation? So these are the things we want to see. Don't tell us you raked in 25 trillion naira in first quarter or second quarter.
How does
what is the effect? Yes, what is the effect on the common man?
It's horrible. I don't mean to bring you here and get you annoyed. I hope you don't mind. Sorry. Okay, let's talk politics. Let's go to Edo and find out what's trending there. Just yesterday we heard that PDP pulled out of the peace accord, and then there are so many other things, accusations coming up that okay, this morning they're asking for the redeployment of the CP. Yesterday it was like the INEC official is a very close, or is a relation of Wike, and then the other guy is whatever. But this time, of course, they were giving reasons why they pulled out, okay? And why they were saying that, I was wondering, is it only APC and PDP that are contesting for the governorship election? Labour Party is there, So what's the role of other political parties in all of this?
First of all, I've not gone through the reasons adduced to why PDP pulled out. But PDP pulling out, it looks suspicious because PDP is the ruling party in Edo State today. So ordinarily one would have imagined that they will wield the powers in the state.
The incumbency.
In the incumbency, power of incumbency in Edo State. So for them to pull out of a peace accord, I do not think it speaks well of the government as the government in power. If it were other political parties, then it would have been maybe understandable. But for PDP itself pulling out, then on the other hand, we are looking at the Wike factor. You know, Wike has established himself as a demigod, not just in Rivers State, not just in PDP, albeit in Nigeria. And that is why he has the backing of the government in power. In fact, he was a willing tool in the hands of the APC, and he has continued to be a willing tool. And he has sworn never to leave PDP, not because he is so much in love with PDP, but because he has become a mole in the party.
Yes.
To frustrate,
it sounds funny.
To frustrate
his own
everything.
Political party is in power. Then he is working for APC to take over the state from his own political party.
It's very glaring. It's very glaring. And that is why the statement he made has been swept under the carpet of setting fire
in all the states.
In all the PDP states of PDP governors who are supporting Fubara. These are statements. In fact, these are treasonable statements. You don't make such.
And they're trying protesters for
and they're trying protesters for speaking out. You know, so Wike is just a power drunk. And you wouldn't blame, of course, when elections happen like this, when the elections draw near, you begin to see allegations and counter-allegations. It has almost become a norm in Nigeria that whenever we approach an election, CPs are redeployed, you understand, so that they would not be compromised. But for me, I do not think that is anything worthy to be done. It doesn't stop corruption from thriving during or rigging during the election. But one should also consider if truly that the wreck in Edo State is related to Wike, then it's a cause for concern. It is a cause for concern because we all know where who Wike is and what he stands for.
Where he stands.
Yes, we all know. So we also know where his allegiance lies. So if truly that the wreck, I wonder why they just discovered it. I wonder why it's barely a week to the election. I wonder why they're just talking about it today. But it is truly a cause for concern, and something should be done about it. I hope, whatever happens, my prayer is that the election in Edo State never turns violent. Never thought. That is my prayer.
That's because the fear of everybody. Now that you have decided to pull out from the peace accord, are you saying that you are coming out for war?
Edo State is a flashpoint of Nigerian politics. So everybody is, and if you look at the rate at which the main opposition, the APC especially, are building up and getting ready to take over Edo State is unquestionable. One should. Everything that needs to be done should be done in Edo State to see that we have, even if the election is not free and fair, at least there shouldn't be bloodlet. That is where my concern lies.
Okay. Let's also look at this issue of labeling protester, hunger protesters, people that are protesting that are hungry, that the government is not good enough for them. That there should be a change or there should be a rejig for things to turn around. And then they've labeled them, what do you call them? Okay, there is a treasonable felony, okay? And we know what that stands for. And some of us are asking, So how can this be? How can ordinary protesters that are not even armed in anything, how will protesters overthrow government?
Of course, then when the protest happened, it turned violent in some states, especially the northern states. The question is the people who are being remanded today, and a bill of 100 million has been placed on them, 10 of them, 10 million each has been placed on them. The question is, were they seen bearing weapons? Were they seen making inciting statements? Even if they were, it is said that a hungry man is an angry man. If you fetch anti-infested firewood, you don't have an option of having lizards come to visit you. If the government, and my concern, these things shouldn't hold, it's not proper. There was information was given as to when this protest will hold. What did government do? These are questions we should ask ourselves. What did government do? Okay, let's keep aside the people who are being held and for treasonable felony, which for some persons who do not understand, they will be sentenced to death. It is a crime that they would be sentenced if they are found guilty. That is what treasonable felony means. Okay, let's set that aside. What has happened after the election? What has happened after the protest? What has happened is that we have seen astronomical increase in the price of fuel, which was one of the reasons why the protest held. We have seen the president spending money lavishly, which was why the protest was held in the first place. So it's as if, just like Akpabio said, we must remain in government. Let those who are protesting be protesting, but we will be here. Let us be here eating
and drinking. That
was his statement. So, that is exactly what is happening today. And no wonder why some persons are calling for protest again on October 1st. You see, you don't treat your citizens like this. How can you call people who go out to protest? We are not even talking. Okay, nobody is even talking or holding government responsible for job employment. Nobody is talking about that again. Nobody is talking about government should provide employment. No, nobody is talking about.
I was listening to one video of a lawyer, Timothy somebody, but he's from the West. He said that he was called into bar in 1980, and some of this. Even the CJN that they passed through him in 1985 when he was a teacher at the law school. And he was asking them, who taught you that protest is a criminal offense? Not to talk of, treasonable offense. Okay, he was asking them, I was listening to that voice this morning and said that this is not what we taught you in school. That what I see that you guys are trying to do is to suppress people, to stop people from talking, so that you continue doing what you are doing.
That is exactly the intention. You can imagine the way they've been manhandling the NLC president. It's just to gag everybody. Don't say anything while we continue with the nefarious activities that we commit. Don't say anything. They're just trying to instill fear in the minds of Nigerians. And I do not feel Aguero seems to have kowtowed to whatever suppression that they are holding on him. Because this is not the NLC we used to know.
I'm telling you.
This isn't the NLC we used to know. Even transporters, in the past, it is the transporters that will even go on strike because the cost of fuel has been increased. But today they rely on commuters. If you like, you must travel, you must move around, you must bring your money to us. Our duty is just to buy the fuel with the money. So any amount will tell you.
No, it's coming gradually because most people are not moving out again. Most people are not going anywhere again.
In the past,
so by the time you buy your fuel and you go out, you don't see any passenger to pick.
Okay, to go from Oka to Lagos today is at something thousand naira. Imagine what will happen by December.
Okay.
So these are just.
Everybody will stay put now. What are you coming home to do? Let's look at the rest of the papers. No nation grows like this. No nation continues like this. I don't understand what's going on here. Okay, the Guardian newspaper is our next paper this morning. Edo Guba, fragile peace deal strokes insecurity, apathy fears. Okay, and then I don't even know which one to take. This paper is usually too busy for me. Okay, PSA bars police officers from investigating land maritime matters, and then protesters demand release of detained PDP members in Edo. Okay, flooding, Allow Dam repairs cost 762 million naira in 12 years, and then 26 million naira before collapse. I hear you. Hackers intensify attacks on educational institutions for ransom, says reports. And then a CUPP to Tinubu, you have lost touch with reality. Okay, foreign patronage in equities dips by 73% in 8 years. Obtaining the Nigerian passport without tears. These are the headlines we'll have in this, what do you call it? Okay. Guardian newspaper. Bandits block Zamfara highway, abduct travelers, kill soldiers. These ones are not reasonable offense. People that wouldn't allow you to go out, you suffer to get money to travel at a very high cost, and then you go out there, the bandits kidnaps you and ask you for ransom. Nobody is seeing that one.
And they flaunt it on TikTok.
Nobody is seeing that one. Okay, let's look at Daily Post, Daily Trust, please. Daily Trust newspaper. Bruno flood, my wife, 5 kids still missing. Oh my God, this is coming from Survival. He said, I thought I would die with my 6 children. Yeah. Canoe operators collected 1,000 naira, 100,000 naira to rescue my sheep. Hey, my God, even in the midst of death, people are doing business. NGF visits affected areas, donates 100 million naira, Fintiri 50 million naira, and then 259 dead, over 1 million affected in 29 states. This is coming from NEMA, and this is what we keep hearing. Maybe by next year it will be worse than this one. Donation and palliatives, not being proactive to find out what to do to ensure that this doesn't happen again. APC state chairman worried over her ship. And then 400 deported Nigerians arrive at Abuja airport. Okay, bandits killed 3 soldiers, others in Zamfara, abduct 4 at Castina Hospital. This is what's going on in a nation where our leaders are flaunting money and affluence. Okay, down here, 30 die in Kaduna road crash. Kaduna-Kano road crashes. Oh, too bad. Okay, Tribune is our last paper this morning. Nigerian Tribune is our last paper. Okay, thank you. 259 killed, over 1 million affected by flood in 29 states. Every figure turns to money. Okay, UN humanitarian agency allocates $6 billion for Borno, Adamawa, Yobe. You know, okay. And then down here, Edo, APC, 16 others sign peace accord. PDP maintains stance, refuses to sign. Southwest states arrive at a plan of action to tackle food shortage. Any plan? Okay, let's see how it plays out. And then other stories from here. Also says aviation workers to shut down airports September 18. What is their reason? Reject 50% IGR deductions. And that is how work is done. NUT warns federal government against unchecked commercialization of education in Nigeria. Yes, as you know that they're planning to privatize all the federal universities. We heard that one last week or last 2 weeks. Federal government signs CTC agreement to reduce airline operating costs. Okay, Oyo bricklayers, shoemakers, hairdressers, others to pay taxes as Assembly passes presumptive tax bill into law when you are struggling for what to eat. Hey, it's kind of life in this side of the world. Nigeria signs partnership agreements with UK, gets 589 billion naira support. CBN directs service providers to commence POS transaction tracking. And then Shetima receives Odua Investment Management, says no going back on Nigeria's digital resolution. Okay, these are many more the stories you find from the papers we have reviewed this morning. And Ejike, please, which one is of interest to you?
Well, I'd like to talk about, there's this story that trended about bandits going to a hospital to abduct patients in hospital.
Chai.
And it speaks about the security situation in Nigeria. So you can imagine people who are in hospital, not in good health, not in good shape. Then bandits go there to abduct them, abduct doctors and nurses, and walk them into the forest. And while we are at it, we have a federal government that are trying 10 protesters for treasonable offense. On the other hand, we also have these bandits who are displaying their faces and their ransom that they collected on TikTok. These same bandits are even doing giveaway on TikTok. Then you begin to wonder and ask, what then is the essence of linking your NIN to your SIM card? Those of us who are here doing our businesses with our legitimate business, albeit with our phones.
Every time they block your line.
Every time they block your line, you are at the telecom office begging them to unblock your line. Then you have people who are dehumanizing Nigerians, torturing Nigerians, stealing from them, coming out in the open to display their ransom, display their faces, display their arms, and nothing is being done about it. So one would then begin to wonder or ask, is this state-sponsored or what? So it falls back to the question of hope that you asked earlier. I do not see any hope in the nearest future. I do not see any hope.
But if this kind of insecurity in the nation is state-sponsored, what does the state want to achieve by allowing this to happen?
Well, there have been several theories to it. So many people have come up with several things, saying different things. Of course, they are not substantiated. But it is obvious that these things are not just, we are not fighting an internal war. We are fighting an external war. We have foreign influences backing these people, as far as I am concerned. And that is why some persons will always give kudos to countries like Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, where you have some radical soldiers taking over power. I'm not saying that should happen in Nigeria, but if you sit back and look at what is happening in this, some of them have even pulled out from ECOWAS. Because look at UN giving $6 billion to 3 states affected by flood. If that same UN comes around and tell you, this is what I want you to do, you wouldn't say no. You wouldn't say no. You wouldn't say no. I read, I wasn't there, but I read that Gowon once said Nigeria has so much money that it doesn't know what to do with them. I also read, I had the current UK Prime Minister saying that Gowon once came to the UK with half of the CBN. So what happens if we sit back and begin to build ourselves? Must we rely on foreign agencies? Must we rely on donor agencies? And a very investigative journalist was crying over on Twitter, saying that there is no NGO, foreign NGO in Nigeria that can prosecute a rape case in Nigeria. None. But there are NGOs that would write about climate change that is not happening in Nigeria. just to bring down the country. We've also heard that the same investigative journalist told us of how he was paid to demarket Dangote refinery. So these are foreign influences. That is where the problem is. And given the type of leaders we have, they do not care what happens about, to the people, the citizens. No. They will always fall at and listen to these foreign influences, provided they have something to give to them, at the detriment of the people you claim to lead. So it's a huge, huge problem. Except we sit back and look inwards and begin to solve our problems. I do not see. That's why.
You and who are going to sit this back? This crop of leaders that you have now.
It defaults on all of us. There are sacrifices to be made. Kenya is an example. There are sacrifices to be made. I also blame the opposition. When PDP was in power, APC protested. What has PDP done today in terms of protest? What has Labour Party done? What has NNPC, ADC, Afghan, every other political parties? APC protested when PDP was in government. APC was an opposition then. So what this strong opposition? So this opposition, this number of opposition parties that we have today, what have they done? How many of them are speaking?
That question since 2 years ago.
How many of them are speaking?
But the kind of run for your life that this APC gave PDP when they were in power. Where is PDP?
They are jittery.
Where is PDP and other political parties?
They are getting up to come back in 2017. No, it doesn't work like that. Show us that you have what it takes.
That's why
to
APC wants to take over
the
whole state.
The sitting government. It's pathetic.
Very, very. Okay, let's also look at this before we go. NUT wants federal government against unchecked commercialization of education in Nigeria, as you heard that they want to privatize federal universities.
That's because whatever the federal government does, nobody questions them. So they are ready to do anything whatever it takes. Even the privatization now, it's very glaring and certain that they will sell it to their cronies. They will buy them to themselves.
And they sold our refineries.
Okay, if you sell federal universities, what then will become your responsibility? If you cannot provide education for the citizens. And the worry, saddest part of it all is that these are leaders who in the past enjoyed free education. Why then are you frustrating Nigerians today? So the crime Nigerians committed was that people before you gave you free education. Instead of you to replicate what you enjoyed in the past, you have come to turn the table around and then bring and sorrow and pain and anguish on people. Education is supposed to be free and subsidized. Today you are talking about privatization. Every other industry that has been privatized, how are they faring today?
How are they faring?
Why
do you want to delve into education?
Now you want to take education, and for crying out loud, are we in a government of the elite? Is that what is happening?
Who is the elite among them? Okay, let's just hold it so that we don't walk up ourselves, please. Let's just hold it and praying that there will be hope, because maybe some nations that are enjoying good governance now had this kind of problems that we had. There's a limit to where you will stretch a nation.
They did something about it, so
something will surely happen along the way. There must be a rescue mission for us, if not divine. Then something will happen politically, that a crop of good, well-meaning politicians that mean well for this nation will rise up and say enough is enough. Okay, and then take over the nation and govern it the way it should be. That is our prayer. So otherwise, we can't keep living a hopeless life this way. Thank you very much, AGK Abata, for joining us this morning.
Thank you, my pleasure.
We didn't spoil your weekend. I'm sorry, Sha. Okay, my name is Sijama. We'll take a break here and then move over to the discussion table to keep talking. That's what I am paid for.